Things are still falling apart in Kenya Kwanza. Let's have a look at some remarks made by Rigathi Gachagua, remarks that are going to inform the basis of our analysis right now. Rigathi Gachagua, my sons initially did not back William Ruto's State House bid. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the self-proclaimed honest man, has revealed that his sons did not support President William Ruto's bid for the highest office in the land. So serious was this matter that Mr. Gachagua says when he told his children that they needed to vote as a family, the votes were split 2 against 2, being a family of 4. He made the revelation during a church service at Kaplong Deliverance Church in Sotik, Bomet County on Sunday, where he added that being the head of the family, he made the final decision that saw his children eventually supporting Dr. Ruto. Whereas his sons Keith and Kevin were cautious about going against the government, Mr. Gachagua said he believed that Dr. Ruto was the right candidate for the presidency. He went on to narrate how the previous regime urged him to withdraw his support for Dr. Ruto, who was then the country's deputy president. He said President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime went to the extent of threatening to jail him, with many court cases being filed against him. Nonetheless, I decided to stay with President Ruto because I believed in the destination he had for us. My wife, Pastor Dorcas, supported me. We were now 2 people against 2. And as the chairman of the meeting, I cast the final vote and we all agreed to support Ruto, he said. His revelations come amid a growing rift between the 2 leaders, with Mr. Gachagua giving the strongest indication yet that all is not well between him and his boss during the church service. Rigathi was speaking yesterday in Bomet in a meeting that was given a wide berth by almost all leaders in that area except MP Ngeno. Yes. So it's clear the fight between Ruto and Rigathi is only widening. Rigathi is saying that his sons were against him supporting Ruto, but he eventually convinced them to support Ruto. Why is Rigathi Gachagua bringing up this story at this time? Why is he bringing up this story? What does all this mean politically, considering what's happening in the country? Let's dig deeper into this for Kenyans to understand what's happening here. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. Rigathi Gachagua is a desperate sympathy-seeking addict. All this is doing for sympathy. Kenya should not forget that last year, during the opposition's demonstrations, because these issues the youth Gen Zs are raising now, the opposition raised them last year, but Rigathi Gachagua was in the forefront, waking up very early in the morning, going to organize the police on how to be brutal on the innocent demonstrators. So all these police brutalities have not started with the Gen Z's demonstrations. They have been there. And last year, Rigathi Gachagua was the face of police brutalities. So he should not pretend now that he understands what the ground is saying, that he's sympathizing with the ground. Rigathi is worse off than William Ruto. Rigathi is the person who has been telling us about a shareholding government, that if you never voted for Kenya Kwanza, then don't expect much from our government. Uhuru was better than Ruto. Ruto is better than Rigathi Gachagua. That's what Kenyans should understand. So if Kenyans are rebelling against William Ruto, they should rebel 100 times more against Rigathi Gachagua. If Kenyans are rejecting Ruto, they should reject Rigathi even more. Rigathi is not fit holding any public office. If you look at his track record, all we can remember of Rigathi Gachagua is when he was a DO and on how he persecuted the people of Molo. That's the available record of Rigathi Gachagua in the public service. So Rigathi cannot turn around to pretend he can save the people. Rigathi is worse off than William Ruto. Kenya should reject Ruto. Kenya should reject Rigathi. And all these Kenya Kwanza leaders supporting Kenya Kwanza government. And I'm bringing that to the attention of Kenyans because Rigathi has started pretending that is now listening to the ground. Last year, was he listening to that ground? When Kenyans, even including on the mountain, were complaining, was Rigathi listening to them? This man, Rigathi, has to be rejected. And also for those who have been following me here, I've always maintained that in this forum, we expose things as they are without any fear or favor. We are not here to massage any person's ego. Rigathi is pretending because Ruto has dumped him. He was used to fight Uhuru Kenyatta, and now William Ruto has dumped him. That's why he's now pretending that he's listening to the ground. He has been dumped by William Ruto. And on that front, let's congratulate Ruto for dumping Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi is a disaster. And again, if you listen or you look at those remarks by Rigathi Gachagua, I'm seeing a disparate man who is really willing to work with Ruto. If William Ruto can just extend an olive branch to Rigathi, Rigathi will embrace Ruto 100%. In fact, he will be on the forefront encouraging police brutality. He's very desperate to embrace Ruto. And now this goes to the mountain. We are where we are because on how you voted. And it's actually true that if you look at Kenya, members of parliament who passed that bill, almost 99% of your MPs on the mountain voted yes. So you are seeing for yourselves where the problem is. So we have to make amends. You must start by changing the mentality on how you look at leaders. Don't look at leaders in terms of tokens or handouts. Rigathi and Ruto confused you in the last election by giving you tokens and handouts. The whole country rejected Ruto and Rigathi. It's very unfortunate. The mountain never understood that. They went ahead, allowed themselves to be lied to. But that is now watered down under the bridge. We don't want to go back to that on who did what or what was done. Kenyans are now moving together as a country. Rigathi has to be rejected. Ruto has to be rejected. Any leader supporting Kenya Kwanza, they must be rejected. It's high time now we speak with one voice as Kenyans. Let not again Kenyans be balkanized along ethnic and political party affiliations. In fact, these leaders mobilizing us along ethnic lines should be rejected. They are the biggest problems we have in the country. Reject any leader organizing us on ethnic or political lines. Let's see a leader for who they are, not where they come from. Rigathi should be rejected. Those remarks are meant to confuse Kenyans. And in one way or the other, Rigathi is just desperate to attract the attention of Ruto. Very desperate to work with Ruto. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Any person watching us outside Kenya for the first time, drop a comment. Let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.